Hello, my name is Aisha Wright. I'm a nurse practitioner for the inpatient team at Presbyterian Hospital, and I am also a nurse practitioner that guides our Stroke Bridge Clinic. Today, we are here to talk more about our Young Stroke and Aneurysm Survivors Support Group, and I am joined with Teresa Sheldon.
And I am Teresa Shelton. I am the one of the stroke navigators here at Novant Health Presbyterian Hospital, as well as Novant Huntersville Hospital. And I see inpatients. I provide basic education to them as to give them information as to what it means to have a stroke or a TIA. I also work with Aisha in our Bridge Clinic, and we also facilitate our Young Stroke Survivors group.
So, Young Stroke and Aneurysm Survivor Support Group, our purpose is to join physicians, stroke team members, and stroke survivors to discuss stroke related topics. It's an open forum. We like to have topics, and our physicians will come as well as providers or someone within our specialty that is well versed on stroke and stroke care come as speakers to a meeting. During that time, we allow it to be an open forum and carry on the topic, or we can sometimes go into topics that are relative and pertinent to what we're speaking on. Meetings are held in our Novant Health Neurology Specialty clinic, and together we exchange valuable health information within a small, comfortable group setting. Sometimes our meetings can range from 3 people, and sometimes it can be as large as
10, 11.
But that doesn't mean that it affects our whole purpose of why we're actually there. The information is taken in rather as one person to 12. It's important for our Young Stroke Survivors meeting to bring in our mission and vision within our Novant Health facility and our organization. So our mission at Novant Health exists to improve the health of our communities, one person at a time. And our vision, we the employees of Novant Health and our physician partners will deliver the most remarkable patient experience in every dimension, every time. So we take that to our support group as well. It's not about just our patients that are within our facility and is attending our actual specialty groups or our organizational healthcare places. It's also about our community, the people who are within our city, within our state that want to come and share their thoughts and expressions about their experience with stroke. And that's whether it should be the patient or their families. What is our young stroke survivor population? I like to say it's 18 to 65, or in our great words of Ms. Teresa, anyone who's young in spirit. And the reason why it's such a wide range because the financial burden and family obligations after a stroke and young adults can be significantly more than for a younger than older stroke survivors. Young adults are often they often can't identify with stroke symptoms or ignore them. A lot of times we get so caught up in our busy lives that we just have this headache or have this dizziness or have this weakness, and we may attribute it to something we've been doing at work or just everyday stress. But those within the older population sometimes are more likely to kind of know what those symptoms are. But young patients generally live longer with disabilities, physical effects of the stroke, which could lead to greater loss in salary earnings over a long period of time. We have young stroke survivors that come to our meetings that one of their greatest concerns is that they're out of work. They have young children. How are they going to support their families? Who's going to notice their new debilities or disabilities? Or is there no physical attributes but mental attributes? So those are amongst a lot of things that we discuss within this age population because these are a lot of our working class people.
Now, we recruit our patients, if you can call it recruit them, or our survivors from first of all, from when they're inpatient in the hospital. Part of my education when I see them, I give them basic information about their strokes, and then I also make it known to them that we do have the Young Stroke and Aneurysm Support Group. Uh, I provide a flyer for them with our yearly dates. We meet from January through November. Actually, we do not meet in December. December is usually a hard time to get people together because of the holidays. So we meet January through November, and I provide them with a list of the dates. And I don't put pressure on them to come. I just make them aware of the availability, has our dates and our times and location, and it includes my email, so they can contact me if need be. I also request their email, and I gently ask them if they would like to share their email with me so I can build our database and contact them monthly just to remind them when we will have our meetings. We're also listed in the American Heart and American Stroke Association website. That's a national registry. We're located in the National Stroke Association National Registry, and we're also located in Compass's study communication resources for Mecklenburg County. So this is just an example of what some of our meetings involve. I just already reviewed when we have the meeting times, but again, we have speakers. In January, we had Megan, our pharmacist. She happens to be part of our Stroke Bridge Clinic team also. A lot of our patients have questions about their medications, and she presented a topic about statins this last January that was very interesting. Everybody, including me, were interested in statins. Everyone's on a statin. Then we have Aisha's going to fill in for us in February. She'll come and speak. And then we have Dr. Edgecombe. He's one of our neuro hospitalists. I also have on possibility of asking some of our community volunteers. We have a physical therapist who's had strokes that were young. She came and spoke to us last year, and she'll come back and speak to the group again. They really enjoyed speaking to her. We have a survivor that is, I think he was an 18-year survivor, Wes. He brings a lot of hope because most of our patients who do come to the stroke support group are new stroke patients, maybe 6 months at the most. We have a few who have been there long-term. One lady's 13 years, I think. But for those new survivors, it's good to see a survivor that is a survivor 18 years out or longer. So that gives them hope, too, to see where they can go. Let's see. And this just shows my contact. Again, my contact is through emails that I give to the patients in the house, and then I'm listed on the national websites to my phone number and Novant number. Do you have anything else to add, Aisha?
Love to just point out that a lot of people think that rehabilitation, they think about rehab and they think about the physical aspect, but why our young support group is so important to us because it's not just physical. A lot of it is mental. A lot of times we have families or we have patients that come and you see their first time coming that they're so tense and they just have so much on their mind. They're so emotional. And as time progresses and as they continue to come, you see that weight lifted off their shoulder and just you can identify just looking at them that just talking about it, just being able to relate to people, not that misery love company, but to be able to relate
to someone else who's had a similar experience. I tell everyone that, no one stroke is the same, no two strokes are the same, but they do have some of the same issues. And it's good to be around other people that you can identify with that may have some similar issues and they give support to each other. And actually that's the best part. We do have speakers monthly, but the best part is how our survivors just join and share their experiences among each other, and that's usually where the group goes to whatever they would like to speak about. And there's never a quiet moment. We're always discussing. So it's good to see them and their caregivers participate in this meeting. It's very low key. It's not formal. It's just come as you are and say what you would like or sit there and listen. So it's
We have couples that come. We reiterate to them that your wife or your husband just didn't have the stroke. You had this experience as well.
right.
And we opened the forum for them to speak. And a lot of times, I think it's a good time for them to hear another husband and wife kind of speak and understand that, okay, yeah, I have a little caregiver role strain, and it's not unusual. So it's a very relatable experience, and I don't like to miss a meeting.
I know. I leave with something at every meeting. I always bring something out of that meeting from what I learned there, and it's very gratifying to me also to see patients in the hospital. I see them sometimes. Used to see them in the emergency room when they first came into our system, and then watch them while they are inpatient. I see them go home, see them in our bridge clinic a few weeks later, and then see them walk through those elevator doors into our clinic for the support group. It's an amazing thing to see how far they've come.
Yeah, we had one young lady came with the walker, then came with the cane, then walked in normal, and then the next week had heels on and returned back to work. So it's great to see the progression as well.
Just my curiosity, did Aisha and Teresa, did you yourselves form this group, support group? Like, did you create it?
No, Denise Sorensen started it maybe, I've been here 3 years, so probably 5 years ago.
How do you go about starting a stroke group or stroke support group or any support group?
What I know, we did not have to have community stakeholders, but we did have to have hospital stakeholders, of course. We had to have a space. That was the thing. You had to have a space to do it. And we are fortunate enough to have our neurology specialty office where we hold our bridge clinic. They allow us to use their waiting room, which is a large room. And a lot of our patients who attend the stroke bridge clinic or the neurology clinic know where that space is. It's not a new area for them to come to. So we do have permission to use their space. They actually used to provide refreshments for us too.
Oh, awesome.
Nick, I guess, had a lot to do with getting the support group on the ground. And I don't know Nick's title.
Well, he's our vice president of our neuroscience. And thankfully, we have a lot of our administrative staff that really will give us the things that we ask for. So that's a plus as well.
They know the importance of taking care of our stroke patients. They're not just our patients while they're here in the hospital. Once they leave, we want to support them also, and they're on board with us for doing that. So they make it possible to do whatever we need.
I think they know that we have a vision and that we're passionate in what we do, and we love doing this amongst seeing the patients, because our journey will not just start, as Teresa said earlier, with our outside sources, but our patients that we see in the hospital, we form a relationship with them. We see them in clinic, and we encourage them to get further therapy through talking about it and come to the young stroke survivors. But we have a bunch of people from other organizations that come.
Right. They find us online and they'll come. It's not just Novant patients.
I was just about to ask, how do you get the word out there about your support group?
One of the things that I've noted when we kind of asked them is that we're on a registry right now. Was it this one? National Stroke Association National Registry, as well as the American Heart Association. But moving forward, some of it has been word of mouth when people have been Googling and kind of finding. But when we do community events as well, I know there's been some community events we did and fairs. We also take our schedules and hand those out as well about our young stroke survivors group as well. Because a lot of people come up with questions and they say, I've had a stroke or my family had a stroke, and we will give out those flyers as well. But a lot of it has been word of mouth.
Mhm. Mhm.
Moving forward, we would like to be advertise it more, because I think for me, and Teresa and I have talked about this, that we could care less about the conflict between systems and all of that. For us, it's more about the
Mhm.
community, and there might be a time where a patient that we have may have to go to another stroke survivor because of timing, because of location, or any of those things. But our greatest goal is just to make sure all around that mentally our patients are able to get back and to optimal function of who they are, or at least close as to who they are or were to their new normal. We use that term a lot during our meeting. Their new normal before they actually had the stroke, and that as well as their family. But just kind of wrapping it up before any questions, we just wanted to also say how diverse our group is as well as age, but culturally, ethnicity. It's just a lot that you can get out of the group, and I'm just very happy to be a part of it. To get in more information about our Young Stroke Survivors Network, we look forward to you either contacting Teresa Shelton or myself. I'll give you Teresa's information once again. It is Teresa Shelton. She's our neuroscience navigator, and her email address is TCH. I'm sorry. Say it, Miss Teresa.
TCSHELTON@NovantHealth.org. And my phone number is 704-316-6239.
Our location that we have our meetings in is at 1918 Randolph Road, Suite 400. It's again in our Novant Neurology Specialty Office. And my name is, again, Aisha Wright, and I can be reached on email at aiwright@novanthealth.org. And my phone number is 704-560-0156. But likely most of these calls will be taken by Miss Teresa, and she can answer these questions a little better than I can. And that concludes our time for this webinar. Thanks for joining us.